So just for argument's sake, staying on this computer repair vein, I started off doing that brainstorming, looking at some ideas, and now these are the 4 keywords that I decided upon for whatever reason. Okay, I liked them. I thought they were highly relevant. I think they're terms that I want to go after. So why computer repair PDF? Side note, very quick side note. The anytime on a lead gen side, I see a related term that has PDF in it, my mouth waters, okay? Because the reality is, from a lead gen aspect, somebody looking for a PDF for a computer repair, it could be anything. Investing in gold, computer repair, health benefits. That is usually a lead gen opportunity there. Put together a good PDF that answers some questions, you can be capturing information from folks. So whenever I see like a PDF type of search, I dig a little deeper because there's usually a good opportunity for lead gen. But that's just a little bit of a side note. Computer repair for business, computer repair shop. So obviously these are some highly relevant terms if you were IT support, a computer repair organization. Okay, so I come up with these terms and I do the real quick sniff test. Hey, are these terms uber competitive? Okay, and looking at the terms themselves in Google, they don't really look all that competitive to me. There's not a ton of ads. There's not a ton of brand names. The titles aren't particularly well optimized. There might be some real opportunity here. Okay, so I've gone through this process and I think I have 4 terms that are highly relevant, that aren't too competitive, but that's great. But now what we really need to look at, though, is, are people actually searching for these terms? A lot of times if a term's not competitive, it's because nobody's searching for it. Okay, it's great ranking number 1, but if nobody's searching for that term, it really doesn't matter at the end of the day. So that's really the next step, is really what's the interest out there for these terms. And here's another free tool that if you're not using, isn't part of your life from an SEO aspect, should really be, and actually has to be. And I'm sure a lot of people on this call have already heard about it. Google Trends, okay? So what Google Trends is, it's a tool, it's free. Just go to Google Trends, do a search for Google Trends, you go there. It's free. It's Google basically saying, hey, these are what's going on with search. So typically when you see, a news item, hey, this is spiking on Google, they're getting that from Google Trends, because you can look in what's for the day, what are the top searches, all that fun stuff. But you can also take in, a handful of terms all at once and just get a nifty little graph on about what's the interest in those terms. And it's a scale from 0 to 100. Now, this isn't search volume. I really need to stress that. This is just a measure that Google has put on these terms if people have interest in them or not. Now, of course, search volume heavily informs that, but it's not search volume, okay? It's interest over time. So we looked at you just pop in those terms real quick and see if there's some interest in any of them. And we see like computer repair shop, which is the blue line, very high, very strong interest, relatively speaking to the other terms. Why computer repair? Definitely has some steady interest. Computer repair PDF, I was actually kind of surprised that it had interest that's pretty much trailing off. And I think we could hypothesize a few reasons around that. And then computer repair for business was also very surprising that the trends were going down. So I can see, okay, are these terms, I get an idea of interest over time on these terms. So I go to Google Trends after I have my handful of terms that I think I want to go after, and I get a sense of, do people even care about these terms at the end of the day? Because I did my quick scan for competition, and I didn't really see much. So now I'm looking at the trends, and for a couple of the terms, there's some good interest in them. So we'll keep those in mind. We'll hold on to those 2 terms. Now, the next step is getting some, for lack of a better word, real numbers, okay? Starting to get into volumes. Now, there's one tool that I don't go into today, okay, but it's another free tool, Keyword Planner. So if anybody does Google Ads, you can definitely use Keyword Planner, and that gives you some quick quick numbers, okay? I'm not particularly the biggest fan of Keyword Planner. I don't think it's the most accurate over time, and I think it is, and this is my opinion only, I think they're going more for, hey, what terms do we want you to bid on that we can make money off of you versus, that. So they don't really give you as much detail as I would like at the end of the day, or as they once did. So I'm not a huge fan of Keyword Planner, but I would not steer anybody away from Keyword Planner to do their initial volume search for keywords. I just would caution you that it's not the most accurate information. Okay, but the tool that we like to use, which is a paid tool, is Moz, or back in the day it used to be called SEO Moz. Okay, but there's tons of tools out there, and once again, I don't have any real. SEM Rush is a good one, and there's a bunch of other ones. We have no affiliation with any of these organizations, so use what you want. They all have free trials. They're all not ridiculous. They're all $70 a month, something like that. And of course, if you sign up for a year, you get a discount. But we like Moz. I've been using SEO Moz for a while. I have used other tools, and I always wind up coming back to Moz for some reason. Okay, so I have my two terms that I really like. Okay, now I want to dig in a little bit deeper. So I'm going to start popping it in. So the first term, and this was actually very surprising to me, computer repair for business, actually has a relatively low search volume. 11 to 50 monthly volume. It does have a low difficulty, okay? So that means basically it's not competitive, which we already knew, okay? And what Moz gives is that last column, because once again, I don't want to do a user group for Moz right now, is that they give it a 47 priority. Now, what is that? That's a score unique to Moz that they take into account volume, click-through rates, and the organic results, difficulty, look at the whole thing and give it a score. Hey, is this a term that should be a priority for you to go after? Okay, so 47 is and it's probably because of the monthly volume, okay? But that's a great way to sort if you use a tool like this, because you could have hundreds of keywords and you can sort, okay, what's my highest priority, and then go after those terms. So that's what we found. So, surprising, computer repair for business, but I do want to put an important note here. Although with search volume, higher is usually better, all right? Because it means more people are searching for it, obviously. But ranking well for a lot of low volume terms, okay, can also bring you strong traffic, all right? And also it may be more relevant for you. So it's great getting 1,000 visitors for a term, but if you only have, for lack of a better word, those 1,000, 2 of them turn into somebody that gives you a call, versus, hey, you might only get 20 visitors, but 4 people call you, which one would you really want to rank for at the end of the day? So I do like to caution, generally, higher volume is better. But if it's a highly relevant term and they're more qualified visitors, that's good too. Now, also, and maybe, I don't know everybody on this webinar by any means, but I'm sure there's a swath of age groups. And back in the olden days, before 2012, in Google Analytics, you used to be able to see all the organic keywords that were coming to your site, okay? And I'm sure some people remember on this, you could obviously see that you had 2 or 3 terms that drove tons of traffic, and then you had thousands upon thousands of terms that drove 3 visitors, 5 visitors, 6 visitors, that were highly relevant, but were short volumes. And that's the reality. 70% of all searches that are done on Google every single month are unique searches, okay? Basically searches that are done once. So low volume, a lot of low volume terms that aren't competitive, that are highly relevant, can turn into great traffic for you at the end of the day, okay? So just because it's low monthly volume, I wouldn't say discount it, but there's some math that has to be done there. So computer repair for business, low volume, not so excited, very surprised, but this is why you do research. Now the next term, computer repair shop, a little bit different story. So repair shop has about 3 to 4,000 monthly searches done. Difficulty still pretty low. Now, once again, remember going back to that quick scan to judge competition. That's holding up. Okay, that's once again, I can't advise that strategy enough to judge competition. So it's not highly competitive at all. Okay, now a little bit different. The priority score that Moz has given is much higher, 73. Like, to put that into context, by their own documentation, like 80 is phenomenal. Okay, so 73 is pretty good, and that's once again low competition, pretty good volume. All right, so that might be a term that we want to write an article around. Okay, I don't know, I'm not getting into computer repair shop content and everything, but we're finding a term here that might be really worthwhile for us to explore a little bit. Okay, and then so every step that I went through just now, you basically just do wash, rinse, and repeat until you find terms that are highly relevant to you, have good volume, okay, and low competition. So this process is just wash, rinse, and repeat, wash, rinse, and repeat. Get your keyword ideas. Check, do a high-level glance of competition. Then start putting it through the tools to see if there are terms that you should be going after from volume aspect. And then you start getting a handful of terms, okay? So that's phase one. And this is really the most important phase of everything, because you can write an article, but if it's nothing that you realistically can rank for, or it doesn't have any volume, or it's not relevant enough to you, it's not going to matter at the end of the day, okay? So you go through these steps, and then wash, rinse, and repeat until you get the terms that you want to go after. And that's what we call your keyword matrix, okay? So that's the first step.